Casillas. Kane, these are our best course designers from season 8. Becca and Jaden, they have put together quite a course so far, and the kids and mature kids have done spectacularly.
Yes, they have. They've been some very, very eventful runs, both from the athletes and the course standpoint. It was incredible to see the variation between the kids and the mature kids courses. It was like two different fun houses all within the same arena. And now we're going to see how that changes for our preteens. As you can see, we have our athletes qualified for the Premier Series finals on your screen right now. The row or the column on your left is the preteen male. Column on your right is preteen female. We're going to be adding 4 more names to each of those divisions tonight.
Whoever those 4 and 4 are, they are going to have a tough task ahead of them. So many strong names, including our world champions in these divisions, Charlie Ball and KK Andrews. It is going to be so much fun to watch the best of the Northwest take on the best from around the world.
Absolutely. And we've got a lot of great runners coming up from the Northwest region, as well as some athletes from Canada in this preteen division. It's going to be very exciting. We've had a very great showing, especially out of our Canadian athletes these past few divisions today. So I'm very curious, as the competition only gets more intense in the preteen division, who's going to come out on top. But first, we've got 2 courses for our athletes to tear through. Alex, why don't you walk us through what those courses are going to be like format-wise?
Sure thing. 2 courses. Every athlete will take on both. We start with the placement course. It's been only a 45-second time limit this week. It is the tied for the fastest placement course along with Ferox. And these athletes are essentially being put under a time crux. They got to get moving and allowed 2 retries on the entire course. Can't use both retries on the same obstacle. And once you run out of those retries, your run is over. You do have to beat the obstacle in front of you to move on to the next. And that's been about a 4-minute, 15-second time limit for this course. So although it's the fastest placement course, this is the longest challenge course we've had so far this season.
Yeah, and as we saw, especially in the mature kids divisions, that challenge course can get incredibly pumpy. At first, these athletes are moving through very quickly with a lot of efficiency, and they don't look that phased. But as we get to the final massive obstacles where bigger moves and bigger throws are involved, we start to see that fatigue really add up over time. And it's definitely costed some people the buzzer. And it's also cost some athletes a spot in finals. So we'll see how our preteens fare, as not only we expect the talent to elevate, but also the course difficulty.
It certainly will, and mature kids to preteens is really where I've been noticing the difficulty level really ramping up, especially at Austin and in Perth, Australia earlier this season, where the course completely changed over the break of those 2 waves. This is the division where athletes are starting to get a little taller, a little stronger, and this is really where we start to see the best of the best break out.
And I cannot wait, because we have a lot of athletes ranked very high on the West Coast. For example, coming up in the preteen female division is going to be Savannah Salinas, who was first place in the Southwest region this season, made it to stage 3, placed 7th at the World Championship. She's definitely going to be one to watch out for.
She's the only athlete in this field that made it to stage 3 at the World Championship. But we do have a number of athletes who made it to stage 2, including Michael Matthews, the number 1 ranked athlete in the Southwest on the boys' side. He'll be taking on the number 2 athlete, Isaiah Meningo. They're going to sandwich the run order, so it'll definitely be interesting to see how, not only how they fare being so far apart in the run order, but how those boys in the middle are able to figure out this placement course and try to get a late run in the challenge course.
Not only that, but we do have a strong contingent out of Canada this weekend across all divisions, and you'll find them in the preteen female division. Mackenzie Burwash is ranked 4th in Canada right now, and following her just 2 runs later on the placement course is going to be Lily Brown John, who's ranked 5th. She actually made it very deep into stage one at the World Championship as well, placed 19th overall. So, two more very talented ninjas that should be on your radar coming into tonight.
And that's true of the boys as well. Jackson Rycroft came in second place at the CNL National Finals. Doesn't say what year, I presume that would be this year. But he is another one of our Canadian athletes. I believe Levi Flint is a Canadian athlete as well. And we've kind of been playing up a US-Canada rivalry as we've been talking about this competition over the course of the season. And it's kind of coming to pass now. We're seeing a lot of Canadian athletes really excel here on American soil.
And it's crazy to see how much they've progressed. You mentioned you weren't sure which national championship they were referring to in their bio. They've only had one. Over COVID, they were doing a lot of virtual ninja meetings and whatnot, but
Oh, that's true.
they didn't have too many in-person events. And as soon as they could, they got right back in the gym, and they've progressed so quickly. It's so impressive to see, especially out of a country that never really had its own ninja program prior. And they really just started from scratch, and they've been in the game for many years now, but really gotten to get back on the horse very seriously only for the last year and a half, 2 years or so, and they are delivering.
Yeah, Canada, one of the few countries in the world without a quote-unquote ninja show that really shows up in the ninja scene. They have really taken a liking to the American ninja scene and have really tried to model their own program off of that. And the Canadian Ninja League, if I'm not mistaken, has an arena finals very similar to the WNL championship that we've done the last couple of years. And it's just so impressive how strong these Canadian athletes are and how much they've grown their sport in that country over the course of the last couple of years, especially considering the global pandemic we all went through. Canada, especially, having stricter lockdown restrictions than America, just now, within the last year and a half, as you said, being able to do things like hold a national finals. And I believe they're going to hold another one here coming up in a month or so.
Yes, that's right. If I'm not mistaken, it's early November. So not too long before the Premier Series finals, which is going to be in Brooklyn, New York. We'll see how many of them are going to be able to make the trip down.
Yeah, if they're looking to model their schedule after the Americans, there are a lot of Americans that like to travel cross country from one weekend to the next. So if you're gonna, really take the next level in this sport, competing in Vancouver one weekend and in Brooklyn the next, that's certainly a tall order, but it's doable.
Absolutely. And we've got a lot of athletes here as well who will jump from Canada to the United States for training, even just training. And so to see a lot of these athletes show up for competition, not very surprising to me, just because the level of dedication in these athletes across all ages is just so apparent. And I cannot wait to see how their training reflects as we come into the placement course and later on the challenge course today.
I do just want to briefly mention, as I just looked this up, the Canadian Ninja League's national finals are going to be in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. It is an arena finals, and it is going to be November 24th, 25th, and 26th. So over Thanksgiving weekend here in America. Obviously, Canadian Thanksgiving is early October. So yeah, it'll be back-to-back weekends for those Canadian athletes that are going to make Premier Series finals, but they're going to have about as good of a tune-up as one could possibly ask for.
Oh, absolutely. We've only taken the top 25% of athletes from the regular season and from the World Championships. So those who advance to Premier Series finals and compete are going to be among the best of the best. They'll be more than prepared for when they go back home and take on the CNL Nationals.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing what they have in store in Canada. A full season without COVID restrictions for them, so it's going to be a lot of fun to see the best of the best in Canada. And I don't know any details about streams and such. I certainly hope that they have a stream available, but you can learn more about our partners at the Canadian Ninja League at CanadianNinjaLeague.org.
Absolutely. It's really cool. They I believe had their streams live on a sports network last year. It was, and
Oh, wow.
I think the VODs are actually still up. I went back as recently as June in preparation for the World Championship, and I was watching them back. It was very impressive. They had a speed course, they had an endurance course, and the top athletes from both came together for a final course, which was a mixture of everything. It's something that you would find um, layout wise similar to a tier 1 regional, but difficulty wise on the level of something you would find here in the Premier Series. And it's very exciting because they really push the top athletes in Canada over there.
That will certainly be a lot of fun, but we are going to pivot right back in here to the Premier Series as we kick off the preteen male division with Michael Matthews coming out of Rancho Cucamonga, one of my favorite city names in the U.S., and he is jumping right out of the gate, repping MLab and San Dimas down in the L.A. area, and he is motoring through this course so far, realizing from the first two divisions what he needs to do.
And it looks like it's going to be similar to the mature kids division with that salmon ladder Lachey. He's going to go from the shelf into the bullseye, and he's going to have to grab that ring. And it looks like our first runner is also going to be our first clear of the preteen division. 28.9 seconds,
Wow.
Alex.
The mature kids were having some problems with this course, especially with the time limit. That is not going to be the case in the preteens, it seems like. We mentioned in the intro that jump from mature kids to preteens is really where the skill level starts to skyrocket, and we have seen that right out of the gate.
Well, just like that, Michael Matthews sets the bar incredibly high for his fellow competitors. And it looks like we're going to be jumping in very soon to Nicholas Ross. He's going to be stepping up to the starting block.
Looks like he's a momentum athlete. We have one of the Chow brothers on his sidelines. Momentum.
And the Chows, haven't gotten to give the Chows their credit that they deserve. The Chows run the Canadian Ninja League. They make this whole operation happen for athletes like Nicholas to be able to take on these courses. So all the power to them.
And incredibly strong athletes in their own right. We'll see them tomorrow, but right now we're seeing Nicholas tear up this course, finding the dismount, and now onto this ring slider. We've seen a lot of ring sliders, it feels like, in the Premier Series.
I mean, it's the new trend. Are you kidding me? I love ring sliders.
I'm on board. And now onto this last obstacle. This shelf, really big drop there. Needs to get going here if he wants to get the buzzer in 5 seconds.
And it looks like Nicholas Ross is just going to time up.
Oh no!
With 2 moves left to go before the buzzer. Still a great run. Was really pushing the pace to that final obstacle, and that time could very well still put him in a good spot on the run order for the challenge course.
It certainly could. There's a lot of runners still to go, and bear in mind the one runner we did see before him, Michael Matthews, was ranked number 1 in the Southwest. So an incredibly strong athlete. Definitely got us off to a hot start. We'll see if the athletes, or where these athletes are going to start to fill in that leaderboard, and see just how many clears we're going to get as Tyson Knutson takes to the course.
Tyson was ranked 7th in the Northwest. Not really seeing any athletes in the Premier Series outside of the top 10 in their regional rankings. Goes to show just how talented these athletes are, and Tyson linking through that second obstacle.
Tyson's a hometowner. The Life Force kids have done really well here so far in their home gym, but these obstacles new to them just as they're new to everybody else.
Great hop over. He's got 20 seconds left as well. Gonna give
I love
a
the urgent, and I love the urgency he's showing. He realizes what he needs to do after Michael's run. Tyson puts up a very strong run, 32 seconds. That is what you're going to have to do to beat this. To beat this placement course.
Taking a look again, might have cost himself a couple of seconds on the shelf there that maybe slowed down his time compared to Matthew, but at the same time, that is nothing to slouch at whatsoever. Incredible run out of Tyson.
Not at all. Well, we are on to one of the top athletes in Canada now, Jackson Rycroft. We mentioned in the Open, finished second at the CNL National Finals, looking to defend his place on the podium 2 months from now in Edmonton. It says here that he did traveling rings for 70 minutes straight. Spent over an hour in the air without coming down. That is just absurd.
Says he covered 6,680 feet in 1,673 rings. I'm not sure what's more impressive, the fact that he did that or the fact that someone counted everything.
Both.
Agreed. Well, Jackson showing that
one-handed
with the one-handed grab.
I'm not sure if that was strategy, showing off, just...
It's because he could, you know?
Yeah. If you can, you might as well, 12 seconds, should have time. Great wherewithal, grabbing the bar behind him to get a good spin off the bullseye, and he finishes this course in 38 seconds.
We have not seen a clear over 40 seconds. These athletes are insanely efficient here.
Yeah, if anything, he lost a little bit of time on that landing of the monkey rings. It looked a little bit shaky, but able to save it. And, immediate just showing off with the one-handed technique on the ring slider. Great run out of Jackson. But just because of the strength of this field, currently in third place with 4 runners to go.
We're going to see another athlete today out of Skyhooks over in Oregon, one of our newer WNL facilities. Welcome to the family. Bodie Snow taking on the course.
Yes, sir. Skyhook and Northwest both up in Oregon joining us. So we're getting that Northwest region starting to fill out finally.
A great leap off the trampoline. We've seen a lot of athletes kind of pause on that trampoline in other divisions to make sure that they're steady. But Bodie full sends and links that lâché as well.
Yeah, these athletes realizing now just beating this course not going to be good enough. You've got to make big moves like that. He needs to get out of here quickly to get a high placement. And now he's getting stuck.
I don't think he pulled back enough.
Yeah, might want to go back to that bar.
Whoa!
Oh, tried to send it. Almost made an incredible save. A tough break there out of Bodie. Not able to finish the course. But if you're not going to finish the course, getting to the last obstacle in only 21 seconds ain't half bad.
Not at all. You could see just how quickly he sped through those first 5 obstacles. And again, that one-handed grab, it was almost there. Just peeled off slightly. That's going to put him in 4th place right now. The faster of 2 non-finishers at the moment, but we still have 3 more athletes to go.
And the one coming up is Levi Flint. Levi coming out of Bellingham right here in Bellingham, same place as we are located here today at Life Force. He doesn't look like he competed last season, or perhaps I just put in the wrong ID number for him, but gyms are able to invite their own athletes who they believe can show up and conquer this Premier Series and maybe just haven't had that breakout moment in the WNL yet. Oh, careful, though. Now ring swing's going to be quite a bit harder, but he sends it.
He's just going to skip it,
Might as well.
Still has 15 seconds left. It's clearable, but he's got to go right now. And it looks like he's going to skip over to that shelf and immediately match him and go.
Well, he's certainly using that height to his advantage, Kane. This is our tallest competitor by far, and he's been able to make reaches like that.
Come on!
Really in the box to just barely get the finish in time.
Levi Flint was not exactly on my radar coming into this. Didn't really know who he was or where he comes from, but he's on my radar now with a nail-biting finish, including a couple slip-ups. I can only imagine what he'll be like on the challenge course, as I imagine he'll be much more methodical there.
Yeah, definitely certainly with that longer time limit, you have a lot better of a chance to really slow down your heart rate, really, not necessarily have to make a quick skip on an obstacle, just do it the most efficient, most safe way so that you're getting to the next obstacle.
Emmett Olson stepping up to the starting line now. I believe
Another Life
it
Force
was
athlete. A lot of athletes representing the state of Washington, just as Emmett is today, number 3 in the Northwest.
and I believe it was actually his sister, Eloise Olson, who qualified for the finals not too long ago.
So I'm sure mom and dad are hoping he makes it.
Oh,
Make the trip
absolutely.
really worthwhile.
We've had a lot of siblings actually already, so it's nice to see that ninja families are still running strong today.
Yeah, when I think of preteen siblings, I'm thinking back to Lily and Charlotte Barrett. They got 1 and 2 back at Ferox.
We'll see them back at Ferox, but for now, we'll see if Emmett Olson is going to face the likes of Charlie Ball in the finals.
But he needs to get going here on this swing. I think just took it a little bit too conservatively, but that's okay. We'll get to see him in the challenge course. Pretty solid run, getting to the last obstacle in 34 seconds.
Still a great run.
And I mean, that looked like such a smooth and quick run, but he's currently sitting right now at a point where he'd have to run the challenge course first. I mean, that just goes to show you the strength of these preteen athletes that we have here today, and it's only going to ramp up with our final runner, Isaiah Meningo.
100%. Isaiah Meningo and his brother Jonah, incredibly talented athletes coming out of the Movement Lab in San Dimas, California. Now, this kid definitely knows speed, so I'm very excited to see how he tackles this course.
Yeah, Isaiah, a name I've recognized from MLab run orders for several years. He's also shown up at a few World Championships, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't make the trip this year, but right now he is flying through this course.
And I love this match and grab. He was a little just everywhere on the monkey rings, but quickly made up for it and is still looking to clear.
Oh, wow.
Before the 10-second lights even start to flash.
Pulls it in. I believe that's our third fastest time, 34 seconds. Great run by Isaiah.
And you would be right, Alex. That is our third fastest time. You can see that even though he had that little slip up on the monkey rings, he immediately made up for it on the ring slider and that salmon ladder lache. And that
a little
made
bit
up for
wobbly of a run, but he definitely showed a lot of power, a lot of speed, stuff that'll really come in handy on the challenge course.
And there you have it. You see 5 clears out of 8 in the preteen male division on the placement course. We'll see them in the challenge course, but for now, we head over to the preteen female division, where we've got another exciting 7 athletes.
The first of whom is Beatrice Buell. And Beatrice, it says here that she also likes tap dancing and rock climbing. So if you're going to pick a good upper body sport and a good lower body sport with parallels to ninja, those are probably the 2 you want to pick.
It sounds like she's got the grip and she's got the footwork, so we'll see how those come into play on this course. Very smooth so far. Taking a little break on the tramp.
Beatrice, an early exit at the World Championship, looking to get quite a bit of revenge here today. The roundabout really threw fits, especially in the preteen division, it seemed like. And she was one of those athletes that went down there. However, number 3 in the Southwest.
We're seeing a lot of athletes skip that ring and just jump immediately to the shelf. Definitely saving them a few seconds there.
And if you can, you might as well, because that helps you build up momentum to get to that bar. And Beatrice putting this course to task, just barely hitting the buzzer. Looked like she maybe could have saved a couple seconds there on the bullseye, but still 1 for 1, getting this division kicked off with a bang. And just able to use that rock climber grip to pull in that box, just hitting the buzzer with half a second to spare.
And it looks like now the bar is set very high for our preteen female athletes as we come into our second runner, ranked 7th in Canada this past season, Kenzie Go-By-Rayner.
And to be clear, that is ranked among WNL athletes. We do not have the CNL rankings
Correct.
with us at the moment. However, Kenzie, coming out of Port Moody, British Columbia, training up there at Momentum Ninja, just as so many strong Western Canadian athletes do. And Kenzie, one of 3 Canadians representing the red and white in the preteen female division.
Just waiting for the go-ahead from the referees. Getting some extra support from her coach.
And she is off. Quickly making it through those strides and rails and the PK bars as well. And athletes just have had one speed on this course in this division, and it is just go. Full pedal to the metal.
And just like that, not even 20 seconds into her run, coming into the 5th obstacle. Good reverse grab, making sure that that bar doesn't spin out on her.
And this is one of the fastest times, period, but Kenzie just peeling off of the shelf. Other than that, a spectacular run as we take another look. And that was one of the fastest times to the last obstacle that we've seen, boys or girls. So Kenzie definitely showing off a lot of prowess. Perhaps we will see her at the top of the challenge course as well. But still several runners left here for the preteen ladies, including our next athlete, who will be Amelia Keating. Amelia, hometown here at Life Force, made it to the final obstacle of stage 1 at the World Championship this year, which put her in the top 20. Also the number 2 ranked Northwest athlete in this division.
Yeah, and you know that stage 1 at the World Championship was not easy for the preteen division whatsoever. Getting to the final obstacle of stage 1 in and of itself is a massive feat, especially considering how difficult that course was this past season. So it's definitely, we're talking about someone who fell on stage 1, but definitely had the potential to go to stage 2 and probably even stage 3.
Well, her Life Force family is excited for her. Let's see how Amelia is able to take on this course. Waiting for the signal, and away she goes.
Skipping that first rail, one of our taller athletes today knows that she doesn't have to go through every single move. She has the stride, she has the wingspan.
I mean, just so smooth this entire course, no wasted movements.
There's that match and go. Great movement. And now is going to
She got there in 17 seconds, Kane.
That is insanely fast. And again, that quick reach, big pullback so she can send her way all the way around. And it looks like Amelia is going to be our second buzzer for the females. And there we have it. I believe
38 seconds. That's going to be our fastest time.
That's right.
Great run by Amelia. So incredibly smooth. She lost a little bit of time there at the end, or else she was rivaling some of the top boys' times. Great run. We will see her run very late in the challenge course, one would think.
Checking out the numbers right now, this actually would have put her in 4th place on the preteen male leaderboard as well.
Tremendous stuff.
And it looks like now we're going to be taking it over to the 4th ranked Canadian athlete off of WNL leaderboards. Coming out of Momentum Movement, it's Mackenzie Burwash. Says that she is a 3rd-degree black belt in Taekwondo and is a sprinter and jumper in track and field. Definitely has that explosiveness that we're going to need on this placement course.
Yeah, certainly the placement course would be right in her wheelhouse. I'm sure she'd like to say the challenge course is as well, but let's see her use that track background here and fly through this course as she goes into the PK bars. Gonna have to take an extra swing, though.
A good vault.
Popping right through. Ooh, careful. Good wherewithal, though. Not just full sprinting it. She realized that she was going to have to take a moment to collect herself and then skips that second ring.
And you know what? That might be the new Beto. We could absolutely see someone sprint through the wedges and just use that momentum to launch over to the platform.
12 seconds left, and she peels off of that shelf, but she pops right back up. That shelf, all of a sudden, is starting to cause our competitors fits.
You know, it's one of those things where the move is now essentially forced if you want a fast time to the buzzer. And, you know, if you're not moving at that pace, there's a good chance you'll be lower on the leaderboard. But at the same time, it's still a risk having to make that jump.
It certainly is, and we have seen it pay off for some athletes and not pay off for others. Definitely a lot of grip needed for that obstacle, as it'll be needed for the challenge course. But coming up next, an athlete that definitely knows grip strength. She took on stage 3 of the World Championships this year. It's Savannah Salinas from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Savannah was ranked first in the Southwest region. Made it past the Pirates Cove at the World Championship.
Yeah, she'll be looking to match Michael's performance. Michael, of course, was our top-ranked placement course athlete, as well as number 1 in the Southwest. Says, can Savannah match that? Looks like she's doing it so far. And again, 17 seconds. Now reaching out, much more steady grab, no wasted movements. This, I think, could be our fastest time overall.
I would
31
definitely
seconds.
not be surprised. She's just got to make that move over and a match and go. She's going to get that ring right around. She's going to come up with a sub 30 time. 31.8. Not sub 30, but still our fastest time in the preteen female. The second fastest we've seen all day. Again, you can see here, Savannah, the only person faster than her on this course all day was none other than Michael Matthews, who had the fastest time in the preteen male division. That's going to put her in a very good spot coming into the challenge course. It's likely that no one's going to beat it, but you can't count out our final 3 athletes, especially our next one, Lily Brown-John.
Yeah, Lily Brown-John, one of 3 Brown-Johns going to be taken on this course. Her mom, Nora, actually won the Masters Female World Championship, becoming our 2nd ever Canadian World Champion. Kane, can you name the other?
I don't think I can.
Jaden Mickey.
Ah,
won
okay.
adults last year. Well,
I
Lily
do remember.
is just torching this course while we were doing a little trivia question. Onto the last obstacle, reeling it in, and all of a sudden, we might have a faster clear. 34 seconds.
It's all
Very
about
quick
the movement.
stuff.
It's all about the movement on that shelf. That seems to be the big time spender there. But she's going to get right up and deliver the second fastest time with 34 seconds, putting her just ahead of Amelia Keating.
As you can see, Savannah just clutching first place there, but Lily Brown-John a very quick time in second as well, as we move on to our penultimate runner in the preteen division for the placement course. It's Jaslyn Nelson. We just had the number 1 ranked Southwest athlete. Here's the number 1 ranked Northwest athlete.
Quick pop. We're seeing a lot of laches and an immediate jump onto that first wedge. I love seeing the complete movement there, and that's what I was looking for, that run through the wedges, an immediate swing, not even needing that second ring.
No wasted movements at all for Jaslyn. Hasn't even looked like she's been going that fast, but she's just been doing these obstacles so incredibly smooth. Wheels around the bullseye, pulls in the box. Struggled a little bit there pulling in the box, but still 37 seconds. Tremendous stuff by Jaslyn.
And it's crazy to think that a run as impressive as that puts her in 3rd place at the moment. Just a stacked field overall. Jaslyn contributing to that testament even more so. Just about a half a second ahead of Amelia Keating as well.
But that efficiency will really do her in handy on the challenge course. She's going to be one of the last 4 to go, so she will know what she needs to do to qualify for finals. And with that efficiency, she can save a lot of energy on some of the tougher, grippier obstacles.
And now we're going to come into our final runner of the preteen female division, Yasma Shabelat. We saw her younger brother compete not too long ago in the mature kids division. And so far, Yasma is destroying the course right now. It looks like she's not going to speed through the rings, but rather take one swing back, match, and pop off.
Number 3 ranked athlete in the Northwest. Strong run so far. Down to 20 seconds, though.
Putting up a good time so far, but she's going to have to move through this final obstacle basically in one move through everything.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more aggression, but maybe just saving that energy for the challenge course. Maybe that's more in her wheelhouse. So she's just going to run out of time with the buzzer in sight.
A missed grab on the ring.
Spinning bullseye has been twisting up our competitors all day long.
Now, Yasma was looking incredibly smooth through everything. Not a single movement made me question her technical prowess or anything like that. Yet still, we're going to find her going first on the challenge course. That's right. Flip that leaderboard on your screen, folks. And that is the run order for the challenge course. Yasma all the way up to Savannah. We have 8 incredibly talented female athletes. And it's absolutely crazy to think that someone who put up as solid of a run as Yasma is going to be running first. I genuinely think that both of these divisions could go anywhere. You could see any combination of 4 athletes qualify for finals tonight.
But that's what makes this format so exciting. We get a chance to see these athletes in a speed environment, and then they really get to put things to the test on that grip gauntlet that we're going to see in just a little bit. You know, if you make a mistake, if you come up early in the placement course, you're at a disadvantage, but you can absolutely make up for it with a strong run and still win this whole thing.
I wanted to take a look at Savannah's run again. Savannah setting the fastest time for the preteen female division, the second fastest time on the placement course all day, not wasting a second, just literally jumping and barreling through every single move. And you can see that wingspan being put to use. You can see her ability to link even within smaller distances. That gave her almost a sub 30-second time. And she's definitely going to be someone to look out for as we come into the challenge course.
She certainly will. And I mean, being the number 1 ranked athlete in the Southwest, it means that she has performed the best out of any athlete on those longer courses that you're going to see in normal qualifiers. So Savannah, definitely the favorite in the clubhouse in this preteen female division.
Meanwhile, on the male side, I wanted to shout out Michael Matthews as well. He was the first runner to take on the placement course in this division, and his time held up. He still stayed in first place throughout the entire division, and now he'll be running that challenge course last for the preteen males.
And deservedly so. I mean, he just came out of the gate swinging, no frame of reference, just had one speed, which is to push the pedal to the metal, and everything looked so smooth from beginning to end.
Cannot wait to see that. And then there's also a good amount of clears on both in both divisions on the leaderboard. I wanted to shout out Levi Flint as well. Relatively unknown, at least to me and Alex, I would say, but definitely showing what he's made of with a nail-biting finish that wasn't from the smoothest of runs, but absolutely showed promise in the sense that you can tell he knows how to recover when he makes a mistake.
Yeah, he was able to skip that second ring, kind of unlocking a beta in a way for our later competitors. He just knocked it away, but was able to find that dismount, was able to pull himself in, beat the buzzer, and Levi ended up gaining a couple spots in the challenge course run order because of that.
It's incredibly exciting to see. And we'll be seeing Levi, Michael, Savannah, and all of these athletes on the challenge course very soon. But first, Alex, I believe there are some people that we have to thank for the event.
That's right. We do want to thank some of the sponsors who have made this event possible. Starting, of course, with our longtime friends over at Dairies Gymnastics Supply, DGS Ninja, suppliers of obstacles at the World Championship. They are also one of our chief sponsors of the Premier Series. For all your ninja needs, go check out DGS Ninja.
We've also got another sponsor here to thank. Actually, something to mention. Our 2023 World Ninja League champion in the Elite Female Division, Addie Herman, is an officially sponsored DGS athlete. So thank you not only to DGS for all of the obstacles they've contributed throughout the years, but also being able to further the careers of aspiring ninjas like Addie and many others. If you want to take home any of these obstacles, be sure to check out dgsninja.com, because who knows, you might see some of these obstacles around the gyms in qualifiers or regionals, and you might even see some of their designs once again at the World Championships next year.
And if you're a sponsored athlete who'd like to give your sponsor a shout out on these streams, hit us up on our email, info@worldninjaleague.org.
Speaking of sponsored athletes, we don't necessarily have a sponsored athlete next, but an athlete who sponsors us. Let's take a look at a video by Joseph Rouse, the CEO of Slapchalks.
Has this ever happened to you? Where's my truck bag? Ooh, I have a solution for that. Slapchalks! You take the chalk ball, put it in the mesh pocket, zip it up, slap, and get your chalk. Slapchalks are made right here in Springdale, Arkansas at Interform, the small batch manufacturing company. We're helping our community and providing local jobs to minorities and women of diverse backgrounds. I'm Joseph Rao, Ninja Warrior, Rock Climber, and the CEO of Slapchalks.
Our thanks, of course, to Slapchalks for sponsoring Premier Series, as does NinjaWorks, the ultimate in timing systems. They have been a key resource for a number of years here at the World Ninja League, helping us get our timing system that we make available to all of the WNL competitions. Just makes competition tracking so much easier. It's hard to believe that even while I've been here, we used to be in the dark ages of tracking competition results in Excels with stopwatches, but the archaic days no more. NinjaWorks, of course, providing everything you need for the ultimate competition experience: lights, buzzers, smoke cannons, if you ask nicely enough. Give NinjaWorks a shout over at ninjaworks.com.
And then once again, another athlete helping sponsor the Premier Series, Enzo Di Ferrari Wilson, with his foundation, Ocean Needs Everyone, which is spreading a great message about cleaning up your oceans and making sure that marine life is safe. Let's take a look at what Enzo has to say about Ocean Needs Everyone.
Ocean Needs Everyone is celebrating 5 years of saving the oceans. My name's Enzo, and through Ocean Needs Everyone, I help save the ocean by doing beach cleanups, CO and mangrove plantings, making art about recycled plastic, and making films regarding the ocean's health. How can you help save the oceans at home? Well, even if you don't live near an ocean, trash can end up in there eventually, so cut down on your use of single-use plastics. If you see trash on the roads or beaches, make sure to pick it up. Use less gas-powered vehicles, fish responsibly, and help support local organizations. I started my organization when I was 12 years old because I wanted to make a difference. So remember, you're never too young to follow your dreams and make a change. Let's all save our oceans together, one piece of trash at a time.
Thanks so much, Enzo. And if you want to see more events powered by Ocean Needs Everyone and all of our other sponsors, be sure to tune in tomorrow as we kick off with the amateur division at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. We continue at 4:15 p.m. Eastern, 1:15 p.m. Pacific with the teen division, and we round out our weekend at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific with our elite division.
That is going to be so much fun, seeing these elites take on the hardest course that the number one course designers of Season 8 have ever had to offer. But first up, we're going to have a full day of competition tomorrow, obviously, but still a full night here, prime time on the East Coast, but just getting started here in the evening on the West Coast as we see now the run order for the challenge course. Emmett Olson going first.
We're going to see our fastest clear on the placement course, Michael Matthews, rounding out the preteen male division.
And then if we can get the female run order up as well, that would help to see. Well, in the meantime, while we're working on that, Michael Matthews is going to be the anchor, like number 16 in the power ranking out of hundreds across the world. So a very high power ranking. In addition, I've just found out that Michael was in the top 5 on stage 1 at the World Championship. Also came in second in the tech skill. So he definitely has some of these attributes that would obviously make him succeed very well on the placement course. But also with those technical skills, also came top 10 in the power skill. Really gives him the ability to make it 3 for 3 for the boys today to sweep it. As looks like we're going to have Emmett on the course right now, getting this challenge course kicked off.
Keep watching, keep learning,
And it looks like we might have had
And
a false start.
yeah, that sounds about right.
That's all right. Looks like we're going to reset the timer and get it going again for Emmett.
Yep, looks like a false start. We're going to get that queued up one more time. Make sure everything is ready for Emmett to have a fair crack at this course.
You know what? It just means Emmett's excited to jump onto the course. As are we.
Absolutely.
We're excited to see him.
There we go. Emmett is going up, and away here. A little bit cautious on these springier steps. Usually, these athletes more familiar with the sturdier steps, but you know, the athletes that have the most confidence and the most aggression are going to run right through those.
Now, there was a ring on plank run, but that's been removed, and now it's just a trapeze to that first plank.
Well, these athletes are quite a bit taller, so they're going to have a little bit easier of a time with that obstacle as Emmett tries to go around the bend here.
Good use of his hand and foot there to wrap around. Now, is he going to go up the wall and around the corner, or is he going to try and jump? It looks like he's going to do a bit of both, wrap around the warped wall there. Making good time as he's taking on airtime now, not even a minute into his course run. Time limit, I believe, is somewhere around 4:30.
Yep, 4:30 is the time limit. Definitely the longest course we've had in this challenge course by far this season. As he works his way across, we saw a lot of athletes in the mature kids division take quite a bit of time on that.
Well, so far, airtime not proven to be difficult for Emmett Olson. He hops right off. He knows that there's going to be a lot of top athletes breathing down his neck as this wave continues. So he's going to want to push the pace, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Now, onto these big spinners, we've seen those throughout the day here, and I'm sure we're going to see those tomorrow in a lot of very inventive ways. So if these athletes aren't familiar with spinning obstacles, that could put them in knots real quick, but not Emmett.
Taking on jousting, a great leap over. Obviously, for our taller athletes, it's a little less tricky, a little less hesitation out of Emmett than some of our other athletes in the younger divisions.
But now has to make his way all the way down this cliffhanger line. This is the first really intense grip test that we have seen so far.
And
Able to
now
make it
he's
onto
coming
spun
up to
out
the
now.
real technical test, the first real technical test in spun out.
Okay, focus on it. Focus
Ah,
on it.
he's got to hop it into the bear trap. Oh, but he drops down. That's all right. He gets to use one of his retries.
Okay, Emmett, you got it. Just
You
hold
can
on to
see
it
in the
a second.
bottom right,
Hold
his
on to
timer
it.
is frozen until it's time for him to resume his run.
Oh, but not able to make it
just
on the
missed the
second
bear
try. And recall, you can't use both retries on the same obstacle, so unfortunately that is going to be it for Emmett. Still a strong run out of the gate, 7 obstacles down.
Now, we've seen a result like that being beaten before, but we've also seen results like that still be good enough for the top 4. We'll see how it holds up. Emmett definitely put up a very respectable run and was very quick to spun out as well. That time is definitely something that can benefit his placement on the leaderboard.
Certainly true. And, you know, these first 7 obstacles, they're technical, they're grippy, they ultimately, are there to drain these obstacles, these athletes' power for those later obstacles. And we saw Emmett just really does not know how to handle that spun out obstacle. Hopefully that does not become a theme.
Well, Nicholas Ross is now taking on the course. We saw him just have a small little slip up on the placement course, but not looking to have that happen again to him as he's just sailing through Plank Run right now.
Obviously, with those retries in hand, enables you to, have those slip ups. And, you have those to your advantage. You might as well use them. And he is going right for the skip.
We saw that a lot in the mature kids division. Kind of surprised we didn't see that out of Emmett, but whatever works for them and gets you to the next obstacle is completely viable.
Yeah, I agree. If you don't think you can make that, you don't want to go back and start again. That's the other side of the equation for those retries, because if you fall, you can go for more aggressive techniques, but if you do and it doesn't pay off, you've got to go all the way back to the start.
Something we saw him do as well on airtime was skip that green bar and that big silver ring. He just went straight for the small rings. Not something we've seen yet today. Perhaps we'll see some of our taller athletes do that. Good steadying on the coaster, and he's going to go right into jousting.
Yeah, I get the feeling that coaster is going to be really ramped up in difficulty for our elites. I'm wondering, maybe they're going to have to go ascending on that. That'd be interesting.
Well, now he's taking on the cliffhanger. Again, very good time. It's been a little over a minute and a half. Just coming up on the 2-minute mark right now.
Yeah, this clock counting down still has 2 minutes 45 for, I believe it's the final 4 obstacles, 3 showing on the screen right now. We'll see if that obstacle count is adjusted for the preteens. But now let's see if he can do what Emmett couldn't and get this ring into the bear trap.
Now, Emmett got it in there the first time. He peeled off. So we'll see if that grip also sticks with him.
Getting some motions from his coaches on how to approach it. Gets it. And now needs to get up to that black ring so that he can swing out of there.
Great use of that black ring to change the direction of his body, but he just misses
but
out
not
on
able.
that hourglass.
Yeah, kind of a vampire bat looking thing. Gotta grab either the sides or the cliff ledge. It seems like it's dealer's choice. Just wasn't able to hang on there. And now the process of resetting. Nicholas having to think about what he's done. Gonna have to go start all the way back from the bear trap section.
Locks it in the second time around. Gonna reach out for that black ring.
Makes the grab. And didn't have any problems on this spinning platform last time. Comes in really hot this time and now needs to slow his momentum down. Hopefully he's not very dizzy. Jumps off, gets the ledge.
I love the recovery with his footwork there.
Gets the second and it redirects his swing. Gets the dismount as well.
That was flawless. And now we come to an obstacle that we have not seen on the challenge course yet. It's boxed in. We've seen the metronome used before, but not in this way today.
Yeah, they had that really preloaded for the other divisions, and that got you right where you needed to go in one swing. This, you really have to take the time to build up. And this is not an obstacle you're going to have to redo. This is a lot of time, but look how high he's getting this metronome.
Well, it looks like you need to get
Look how
that
high you have to get!
Yep, I was about to say, there was that trapeze there into the box. And it looks like this board might drop down.
That's an inverter board, I think. Or is it a... What on
It does
earth?
drop down.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's disgustingly cool. Like the Hawaii boy came out in me there for a second, but
I think you gotta go all the way back, yeah.
He has to go all the way back. It looks like a reverse grab onto that bar might be the best way to do it, so that way you're not sandwiching your wrists between the board and the bar as it comes down.
Kane, I'm not sure if we mentioned this, but these are the winners of the Best Course Design Award.
Yes, it's incredibly creative, and it forces moves without forcing moves. You know, there are advisable techniques on these obstacles, and I love to see it because it becomes less of who's more creative, which is always fun to see, but it's also who can do the same thing better than the others. And I think it's a great way to determine the top athletes for the Premier Series finals.
This time he's able to get the bar. He needs to build up a swing, but now running out of time. Can he get out of there in 5 seconds? He needs to go on this swing, probably!
Oh!
And he's just short.
What a great
Don't worry,
run.
there's a mat down there, friends. But Nicholas Ross, agonizingly close to beating that 9th obstacle, just running out of time and distance.
Wow, that, again, such smart movements on this early half of the course, which really allowed him the time to experiment on obstacles like spun out and boxed in. These are definitely going to be very testy for our athletes here. A lot of different ways you can get tripped up on both of those obstacles.
Let's take one more look at this very difficult grab that you have to make on that swing. And of course, just coming up short, but Nicholas was fine. Immediate pop back up. It's a Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka-esque.
Yes, definitely.
Reaching deep into the reference bank today, as Bodie Snow is going to be our next athlete with the gauntlet laid down for him.
Now, Bodie is the fastest of our 3 non-finishers on the placement course, but we all know that all 8 of these athletes in this division could have very well cleared that course any other day.
Certainly true, and sometimes in the heat of the moment, in the heat of competition, you really have to push yourself outside of where you'd normally push yourself in the gym, and sometimes that leads to some mistakes. Maybe what happened to Bodie, but he does have the opportunity to retry some obstacles if he needs to here on the challenge course, as he is making quick work right onto plank run.
Ooh, already got his feet on there, pushed off. Very smart move. Looks like he's going to do the same. Not a problem for Bodie whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, our athletes have been handling that obstacle very well all day, and Bodie is no exception as he makes his way around the bend.
Around the bend, not exactly the toughest obstacle on the course, but definitely one of the more time-consuming. So that efficiency that Bodie just demonstrated, very important for his time and potentially his place on the leaderboard.
Let's see how quickly he can do airtime here.
Now, we saw Nicholas skip that green bar, skip that silver ring, and just go straight for that first wooden ring. Is Bodie going to do the same? No, but he's still moving very efficiently.
And Kane, I've been seeing this tilting rig all day. You can see there's those nunchucks in that rig that looks like it tips a little bit. I am so excited to see how that comes into play tomorrow.
Absolutely. It's a little tease of what's to come tomorrow. So if you guys are interested, be sure to check it out. But for right now, we're going to take a look at Bodie as he destroys Don't Spin It to win it.
He's making his way very cautiously down the coaster here. Doesn't want to have to use retries if he doesn't have to. Makes his way to jousting, 250 to go.
Taking a little pause on the trampoline. We saw this approach in the mature kids division. Sometimes athletes wanted to make sure that they were getting good height on the trampoline, knowing that they could get the distance.
I don't know what the context is, but I've just been asked in my earpiece, can I climb a rope? Yes, I can. Apparently some shots being fired at the commentators as Bodie is making his way to spun out now. We saw Emmett go down here a bit ago, and it was on this hook move.
We actually haven't seen anyone get through this version of spun out on their first try, and Bodie unfortunately just undershot the ring into the bear trap. Gonna use his first retry, and it's a little alarming now, as if he falls again, that's the end of his run, but he's not going to have any extra practice on this obstacle. He's got to essentially do it first try.
Yeah, Nicholas, the only athlete who was able to try this dropping cliff ledge. He wasn't able to get it his first try, but Bodie is.
And there's that
Now, onto the
directional
second.
change.
He's out of there. 2 obstacles to go and plenty of time to do them both.
And looks like he's just having a little trouble generating momentum, squatting at the offbeat instead.
Yeah, this is the opposite of what you want to do. It's like a swing. I've definitely been in competitions where, I've succeeded where others haven't because I was able to get this swinging motion. It's like you're on a playground swing. Push down, kick out, and then let your momentum ride on the upswing. That's exactly what he's doing now.
Yep, looks like he finally got the hang of it.
Ride it out. Kick, perfect.
He might
He's
need
used
a
up a
more
lot of time.
exaggerated movement to get a little higher. You can see that he's still looking at it.
Yeah, still needs some momentum here. And this is where you need to shut off that part of your body that says, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to do this."
But you know what? He finally gets it. 40 seconds left, though. Not the most amount of time to get through the rest of the course, but
Yeah, we saw Nicholas need 2 tries here, and based on the length of time he's used to beat this obstacle, he really needs to get it on this try. And unfortunately, with only 26 seconds left, the clock needs to stop. Clock is not stopped.
that's a problem.
I don't know if that's...
And looks like Jaden's
Yeah,
catching
they've
that
just
now.
realized. So he's gonna get a chance to think about, how he's gonna approach this obstacle on the second attempt. He should have about 30 seconds left.
Somewhere around there.
So I believe if they know how much time was left when he fell, they could go to the stopwatch here. New things we're working out with this new challenge system. Challenge course new for season 9. Obviously, we've done challenge skills in the past, but the challenge course is new this year, and I've spoken to a number of course designers who are really excited at the opportunity to be able to, implement this retry system, a lot more technical obstacles. And now it looks like what they're going to do is, keep the time down on the course for the remainder of Bodie's time.
And it looks like Bodie's pushing through, getting a lot better at generating the swing.
Gets
And-
up there, but needs to get out of there. 5 seconds. Makes the
Much
grab.
better. Get the
Can
dismount.
He go?
No, he held
can't,
on for
just
too
doesn't.
long.
Yeah, I don't think he had the distance to get to that platform. So we take one more look at his run. A strong run throughout for Bodie, and it's that 9th obstacle boxed in that has just been so devastating for the 2 athletes that have gotten there. Just, ate up the entirety of their remaining time limit, even when they had quite a bit of time left there.
But you know what? That run still sets the bar incredibly high for our remaining athletes.
That
As
it
we
does.
find
Bodie
Bodie in
moving
first
into first
place.
place, yes.
But
Moving
now,
himself ahead of Nicholas. And, that might be the difference on who goes to Premier Series finals. We'll have to see from these 5 athletes that beat the placement course in their go earlier today.
that's what I was about to say. Now, the level of athlete takes it up an extra notch as we come into our 5 finishers on the placement course, starting with Levi Flint.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength, Kane. We have this down to a science.
Oh, yeah. We've done it enough, and we
Oh,
enjoy
yeah.
it.
Yes, sir.
Levi speeding through that first obstacle. I love the little run he's got. His arms are always kind of doing something, either a celebration or just looking a little flighty, but it works.
But it's
for
showing
him.
but it's showing that he's having fun here. Obviously,
Exactly.
we all do ninja to have fun, but he keeps things loose. He doesn't really get nervous, or maybe he does. He's certainly not showing it. And I mean, that's allowing him to stay calm, keep his heart rate low, and really just focus on doing the obstacle in front of him.
And currently, that obstacle is now airtime as he's through 3 obstacles in 40 seconds. He's going to hop up to grab that rope. A good high grab, also one of our taller athletes. So he covers a bit more ground on this rope.
Looked like he was kind of using a no leg technique there for a little bit, which was interesting, but managing to get up to the green bar of safety and working his way across the rings.
Going with a matching technique instead of going one hand. There's that extra swing, and he's going to get that dismount. Kind of strolling into don't spin it to win it. Might need to push the pace a bit more on these next 4 obstacles.
Yeah, we've seen that boxed out obstacle just be such a time sink for these competitors. So hopefully if he gets there, he'll be able to do it in one go. He'd be the first as he makes his way to jousting. 2:48 on the clock still.
And it looks like he's asking where is okay to grab.
But he slipped!
Jumped too far.
Yeah, needed to perhaps shimmy his way around that box. No reset needed, so the clock restarts immediately. Yeah, I think he was asking if he could stand there on that green box, perhaps.
Possibly. He reached for that second cliffhanger the first time around, and that reach just wasn't there, but went for the first this time around, and he's safe and on to spun out.
Yeah, let's see how he's able to take on spun out. Everybody so far has needed 2 attempts at this obstacle. Levi, though, has already burned one of his retries.
Absolutely, and with spun out and boxed in being such difficult obstacles, it's tough to only really have 1 attempt on each of them.
Yeah, he came up a little bit short there on the ring, needed a little bit more aggressiveness. And now we're going to have to reset spun out here. Minute 52 to go.
Just waiting for that timer to resume. And now that we're back, so is Levi.
And Levi again, putting out longer reach to really good use here. The bear trap, no issue for him. Just needs to get a pull back here. There you go.
He's a little crooked. He wants to land on that centered, just like that, and a good grab.
Yeah, and I like that he went quickly there,
Whoa!
Realizing, there goes the hack! No, he's short!
He fell back!
Just wasn't able to get the distance. He tried to link through the end of that obstacle. He got a little bit cattywonker there on the circle. Didn't want to waste time spinning around getting dizzy, so he went full send and just came up a bit short on the dismount. Tough break there.
And you know
Still,
what? I think if
an entertaining run by Levi.
If he just drove with his hips a bit more, I think he would have had that distance to get through that obstacle.
Perhaps he could have, but we'll never know.
That's going to put Levi in 4th place with 4 athletes to go. From now on, an athlete will cement their spot in the Premier Series finals while another will be knocked out of contention. And currently, Levi Flint is on the bubble, giving Emmett Olson a bit of extra life by 2 whole seconds.
And meanwhile, Bodie Snow in a position where with 4 runners to go, only needs to be one of the remaining 4 runners. Obviously, he's done what he can. Now just needs one of the remaining runners to finish below him to get into the Premier Series finals. But we have seen on a couple of occasions now the top 4 runners in the placement course all getting the top 4 in the challenge course and making that first place runner going into the final 4 sit there, sweat it out, and not get paid off for it.
Our next runner is going to be the 4th fastest finish on the placement course. It's going to be Jackson Rycroft. And Jackson was second place at the Canadian Ninja League's national finals. So definitely someone to keep an eye out on. If I were Levi, I'd be sweating just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I've said, we've seen situations before where, the athlete who's in first place with 4 runners to go still doesn't get into finals. Bodie doesn't want that to happen to him. Obviously, it's out of his control at this point, and he has 4 very strong runners behind him.
And it looks like we might just be waiting for a few course resets. But he's making it work.
Yeah, Jackson beat that course in only 38 seconds. I mean, he was very impressive throughout that course and still had runners faster than him. So Jackson looking to exact a little bit of revenge here on the challenged course. Obviously wants to finish top 4 again, but he finished second in the Canadian Ninja League. You got to think he is not going to want to settle for anything other than first.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we have our top 3 fastest finishers as well. Isaiah Meningo, Tyson Knutson, and Michael Matthews shortly following him. But Jackson is at the starting line, ready to go. Let's get right into it.
Jackson coming out of the Vancouver area, trains up momentum. We've seen a lot of momentum athletes here today. A number of them have qualified for finals as well.
A good pullback. Very smooth through plank run right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just super quick, not wanting to waste time. He knows those later obstacles are going to be time consuming. We've had a couple runners now show that a lot in your ninja career.
I like the wide stance he has on coaster and a big jump as well to those beams. Coming into jousting now.
Nice jump. And we actually have one of those exact trampolines at our ninja gym, Iron City Ninja. Actually, I'm going to stop my thought for a second. He's the first athlete that I've seen to climb all the way up that box, kind of shake out before doing the cliffhanger. That's an interesting strategy.
Perhaps a sign that he might be spending a bit more energy than he's letting on. Looking very fast right now, but perhaps that's coming to cost.
That, or maybe just not as comfortable with cliffhangers as some of our other athletes. Wanted to take a quick rest beforehand.
Could also
wanted
very
to get
well
a
be the
good
case.
vantage point, maybe. Number of reasons that could be.
Absolutely.
In any event, he is
the
through.
Scene of the crime.
The point I wanted to make on that trampoline, they are very bouncy, and you really need to hit that right in the sweet spot. That can get you a huge jump compared to really eating your momentum if you hit it too far in front or too far behind.
And it looks like Jaden might have forgot to press a button. We'll have to remind him after, but he is on obstacle 8, spun out. Jackson going for that black ring now.
Pulls up to it. Doesn't have the reach that Levi does, but let's see if he has that hip movement that we had mentioned.
Oh my goodness!
No! That was almost one of the best saves we've seen all season, but just peeled out.
I almost said, what an amazing save, and just peeled off at that last second. It almost looked like he was going to reach backwards as well and turn himself around to save it. But, oh my goodness.
Kind of shades of Madeline Medeiros at Ferox with that one-handed grab and just hanging on for longer than anyone has any business to hang on to it, but just not able to save it.
Just like that, Jackson's going to use his first retry. This is his second attempt on spun out. It's a little crooked, trying to reach that black ring.
Yeah, your momentum crooked here because remember, you're coming in perpendicular to where you need to go and moving right onto that dropping ledge now. Let's see if he can make the grab to the second he does.
That's going to put him in the top 3 at the moment. But of course, getting past this obstacle puts him in first and guarantees him a spot in finals.
Yeah, he's the slowest to this obstacle. Remember, both of the runners who got here needed 2 shots at it. Both Bodie and Nicholas took 2 shots. They were unable to complete it on either shot. He moves right up to that trapeze, though, much quicker than Bodie or Nicholas did.
He's just going to have
But he's
to
not
make
able
that
to get
grab.
the ledge.
And you know what? I don't think he fully committed to it. He only got his fingers wrapped around that bar, and he kind of just dropped down. Perhaps a little bit hesitant, but now he only has 26 seconds to make this move, which means he's got to move fast, especially on this first metronome portion.
Yeah, 20 seconds. Really no time. You're going to have to make an aggressive jump here because you know how long that second part's going to take you, which is quite a bit. The lights are going to flash red here. He's got to go. He does go. Now can he get the grab right into it? Not able to make the grab.
Low.
And Boxton continuing to cause our competitors fits. One more look at his run. Strong run throughout. Definitely showed a lot of technique. Really slowed down on jousting. Needed 2 shots that spun out. Obviously getting it very cleanly on the second attempt. And then once he got to Boxton, he was done in and just could not grab that last bar. And that means, Kane, Bodie Snow has qualified for Premier Series Finals.
Yes, congratulations to Bodie. And as you can see on the leaderboard, Jackson's current standing on the leaderboard is not correct. That'll be adjusted shortly. He should be in 3rd place at the moment with Emmett Olson on the bubble right now. Completing spun out will place you into the top 4, but it might not be enough to get you to finals depending on your time. Isaiah Meningo now looking to set a good time to Boxton.
And he set a fantastic time on the placement course, just 34 seconds. And I mean, these kids from MLab, California, they know grip. They train with Arnold Hernandez, an OG of our sport. And these kids just so strong. Both him and Michael Matthews, who's going to be our last runner in this division, train up there. And Isaiah's going the long way around.
You know, he is a little bit on the shorter side of our preteen athletes. So perhaps he felt he could get a better vantage point for the dismount higher up.
And you know what? That makes sense. Like we said, you don't want to burn up a retry there if you don't have to, because that is a long obstacle to go all the way back to the start of. Really, all of these are pretty long obstacles to go back to
Ooh,
the start
tried
of.
skipping rings. Missed that grab, but he's going to recover very quickly. I like what he was going for. He's going to go for an early dismount.
Yeah, the length
is.
of the strap there on those rings, not particularly long, and so it's a lot harder to skip rings than if those straps were a little bit longer. That's a little bit of a physics lesson for you kids watching at home.
This is the section of the course that I like to call the fun house, just because I think that the balance obstacle, the coaster, and now jousting, they're just such fun obstacles.
As
It all
also
looks
just
so creative, so goofy,
Oh, yeah.
yet so cool. Really goes to show it just has Becca and Jaden written all over it, and I love it.
For sure. I'm quite a bit jealous of Greg that he got the assignment to come out here. I really pitched for it, but Greg certainly knows what he's doing, and also Greg wanted to say hello to Arnold and Michael at MLab, and Greg says that he misses them and wishes they were there.
Isaiah
Greg, of
now,
course, our head video guy, making sure that we have these streams in order. Isaiah, though, the man on the course and the man of the hour, becoming
Great grab.
Superman on that jump and right through.
Isaiah is going to be the first athlete to get through spun out without using a retry.
And he's the fastest to this point. That means he's in Premier Series Finals.
This
But
also
still work
means,
to be done.
This also means that in order to make it into the top 4, you have to, at minimum, make it to this obstacle.
And with our last 2 runners being two very strong young men and two very fast young men. I get the feeling that they definitely have what it takes to get here. But meanwhile, Isaiah could be the first to beat this obstacle, period. He gets the trapeze. He's through. And oh boy, look what we have at the end.
It's a flying bar.
It
Oh
looks like
my
we only have to do
goodness.
one move. Isaiah gets it.
All the glory, as the name implies. Can he make this Lachey? It spins
Look
it
at
around.
the spin there. Gets over to the cannonball, and with not a blemish, Isaiah Meningo, over a minute to spare, our first clear in the preteens of the challenge course.
What a perfect run. Even with those missed grabs on the rings, that was really the only area we saw any remote struggle. Sailing through every single obstacle, the first person to get through spun out on their first attempt, making that directional change look easy. Huge generation of power on that pendulum there. And then flawless through the rest of boxed in. And then we saw on the last obstacle, all the glory. What a great hop over to that second set of cradles. And then the spin move to bring him to the buzzer. A great run out of Isaiah Meningo. We will be seeing him in Brooklyn in November, and I cannot wait after that run.
Certainly an athlete that looks like he could give the likes of Charlie Ball a run for their money. Certainly an athlete that we want to see do it. But still two athletes to go that could give Isaiah a run for his money.
Absolutely. And I mean, hey, no disrespect to Charlie Ball whatsoever. But when I say it would have been fun to see Isaiah Meningo at the World Championship, to see the two face off, I mean, I think we would have a good showdown.
Now
But that's not a knock on Charlie Ball. That's respect on Isaiah Meningo.
Now we need to hold that thought for a second. It looks like Bodie Snow had that clock malfunction during his run, and I guess that it has been determined has warranted a rerun. So Bodie back on the course now, his second attempt. He's already secured a spot in the top four. That's the good news. Now has an opportunity, having seen Isaiah clear this entire course, to try to do the same himself.
Well, now Bodie moving with even more urgency than he did in his first run, it appears. He's moving very quickly at the moment. Oh, but a little stuck. His feet kind of slipped out of place. But he latches himself back around, and he's going to come through around the bend and into airtime.
Yeah, I mean, this is an incredibly long course. You'd have to think he's a little bit tired at this point. Did the placement course just about an hour or so ago. Now trying to find his way through this challenge course again. Third course run of the day in just about an hour and a half's time.
And you can see that J hook, but he's kind of using it with the opposite foot. It's an interesting technique there. And it's working for him. It just is taking away some precious time.
Yeah, this run is definitely slower than his first run. And just to be clear to everybody at home, it is the better of the two runs that will count. So if Bodie does not get to the next to last obstacle as fast as he did the first time, or if he doesn't get there at all, that first run will count. And as we mentioned, already good enough to put him in the Premier Series finals. So this, for just that little bit extra for Bodie.
Well, so far, he seems to be sailing through these, absolutely flying through these three obstacles in the area I call the Funhouse. Not really taking much time to rest, but he is going to just hop immediately into that cliffhanger. A lot of swing going. Might have to get that under control before continuing, and that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, realizing that he was a little bit behind the 8-ball from where he was in his first run, realizing that he needs to get moving, takes out a mat. We'll put that back, don't worry. I do always have an appreciation for the athletes taking the course with them.
Well, speaking of taking it with him, he's got to take this ring into the bear trap on spun out.
And great mid-air change of direction as well. Having the foresight from his first run to know what he needs to do here, although starting to get spun around, and now that's just going to get faster.
He's going to have to time that jump, and you can see him bending his knees, trying to prep the jump, but it's just the timing of it.
And it seems like it's just getting faster. This is almost just insulting him, teasing him, laughing in
gonna
his
hop
face,
down.
doing a tactical reset. This isn't B-roll, friends. This is A-roll. This is where it counts.
Now again, we will be taking the better of his results. Time-wise, even if he beats this
And-
obstacle.
oh, no!
Oh!
I mean, after the incredible day Bodhi has had, I will definitely let that one slide. Bodhi's first run will count. Still giving us a show on the second run. And I think maybe just got a little bit mixed up from really getting stuck up here on this spinner. Going round and round and round.
Now, if we take a look at the leaderboard, we will find Bodhi's run over on
Now,
the
wait a-
challenge course.
Okay, that's the placement course.
Yep.
Okay, that's why I got confused.
Bodhi will remain in second place on the challenge course and will be advancing to the finals. Now, on the bubble right now is actually Jackson Rycroft at the moment. Time to beat to boxed in is 3 minutes 29 seconds.
Tyson Knutson, our next athlete, and something I've just noticed, he had the fastest run of any athlete that, at the World Championship, he had the fastest run of any athlete that made it to the final obstacle but was unable to complete it. So he had the best run of the non-clears on stage 1. So he definitely knows speed, and he showed it in the placement course.
Trying to get a big high grab on that rope. You can see his knees kind of scraping the mat. Completely incidental, nothing wrong. He's going to come through those rings as quickly as he possibly can. Look at the shoulder mobility on him there. Hasn't even gone through a minute of the time limit yet, and he's already through the first 5 obstacles.
And you know what? I'm glad I checked this, because we have the strongest ninja bracket where athletes get an opportunity to run stage 2 if they had one of the better runs on stage 1 but didn't clear. And Tyson beat stage 2.
Ah, interesting. So he got a lot of strongest ninja points off of that.
He did.
All right, we got a little stud on the course here.
Tyson certainly showing why he was able to beat stage 2, as he has made it now to the third to last obstacle unblemished and in only a minute and a half gone.
But of course,
Taking a moment to
Spun
slow
Out
his
has
heart rate
been
down.
such a killer in this division, especially this move into the bear trap. Not a problem for Tyson. He's going to pull back, make sure he's nice and centered to land on the disc. Doesn't want to take too many steps on it, but he's crooked. Not
Okay, just
anymore.
run right through it. Good job.
Great correction.
And quickly linking that second ledge, he has moved to this obstacle 2:15 left. That should, if I'm not mistaken, put him in Premier Series finals. Beating this obstacle obviously would.
Not only that, but this currently puts Tyson in second place. He's currently the fastest to this obstacle at the moment.
Let's see if he can match Isaiah's run a little bit ago. Trying to beat this course unblemished. He gets the jump here onto the bar. Now needs to get to the trapeze, which he does.
Oh, a one-handed save on that trapeze. Obviously got his feet on the platform as well, but still a great recovery. You could see as he was swinging back, his feet actually got stuck inside the box. So that might have taken out his momentum. That one-handed grab was crucial.
All right, now he needs to get the bar into these cradles, swinging around. He's definitely threatening Isaiah's time here. Gets the lock.
Is he going to reach that cannonball? Yes, he will. And we're going to
Pulls
have our
it in.
second clear.
Another unblemished clear. 3:23.
A second behind Isaiah's.
Oh no!
That's crazy.
Oh, the cruelest of agonies. The good news for Tyson is that he'll finish on the podium, he'll get a medal, and he's going to Premier Series finals. But 3/4 of a second slower than Isaiah. Infuriating.
Absolutely insane run, though. Again, we've seen 2 runs on the challenge course to the buzzer. Both of them perfect runs, no fails, no need for retries. Both of these gentlemen should absolutely be commended for their efforts. Look at that. 3:22.75 for Isaiah, 3:23.47 for Tyson. It's a great showdown here at the Premier Series in Life Force Ninja. And we've got our final runner of the preteen male division. It's Michael Matthews, who had the only sub 30-second time on the placement course.
I think that might be true all day.
I believe you are right. And we're seeing that speed again as Michael is sprinting through up, and away. A good kickback on that flank.
Michael had a good showing at the World Championship. An unfortunate exit, ironically, on the metronomes in Stage 2. So we're going to have him get a chance at revenge. It's been very fun watching these athletes try to avenge their WNL Championship eliminations. We saw, for instance, some Kaleidoscope revenges at Ferox, and now we have the chance for metronomes here today. And Michael had one of the better Stage 1 times, if I'm not mistaken. Lost his place here.
Well, now...
Oh, here he is. Yes, he had the 5th fastest time on Stage 1. 2nd in tech, and top 10 in power as well.
Well, we were impressed by Tyson getting 5 obstacles done in a minute. Michael Matthews just did 6 obstacles in a minute. Flying through, and a nice hop on the cliffhangers here. It's crazy
really
to see
showing us what could have been if not for a simple slip up early in Stage 2. This young man very well may have been near the podium challenging Charlie Ball for the World Championship.
We're seeing such great efficiency out of him. Crazy to think how much the Lab Rats have grown in skill, in size throughout the years. We saw Isaiah, Michael's teammate, currently sitting with the fastest time to the buzzer, no fails. And Michael is making a good case as to why he might be joining Isaiah at the buzzer.
Yeah, we're gonna see a Lab Rat number 1. The question is, which one is it gonna be? And at this rate, it's looking like it's gonna be Michael.
Michael's putting up an amazing time. He's gonna send himself right over to that trapeze. All he has is 1 obstacle remaining. He just passed the 2-minute mark now.
Yeah, he would have been the fastest time
He's
to that
linking
obstacle
it.
with his time through that obstacle. Get us a camera change, camera guy. There it is.
I mean, we know he's fast. The camera couldn't even keep up with him.
And we were shocked when Isaiah had a minute to spare. Michael had 2 minutes to spare. That's got to be a first in Premier Series.
In the world.
Kane is stunned silent. Michael Matthews winning Premier Series at Life Force with one of the most impressive performances we have ever seen in Premier Series.
No discredit at all to Isaiah or Tyson, who were very similar in times. But Michael just beat Isaiah by 55 seconds, linking the final obstacle so fast that the camera couldn't even keep up with him there. I have no words beyond that. Like that, look at that. And there's your top 4 right there. Our 3 finishers, Michael Matthews, Isaiah Meningo, and Tyson Knutson, making your podium there. And then Bodie Snow rounding out your top 4, who will be advancing to the finals in Brooklyn.
Tremendous stuff. This has been such an entertaining competition. And oh, by the way, that was just the first half. We still have the preteen female division coming up.
That's right. We still have 8 more incredible athletes to take on this course. And it looks like we're going to get started right now with Yasma Shabela.
And Yasma definitely looked impressive even though she's running first here. She was very calm, cool, and collected throughout that placement course. Would have liked to see a little bit more aggression maybe. But here on this longer course, maybe it suits her a little better.
Just waiting for the okay from the rest of the Life Force team to get started. Sizing up the course.
And I believe this course will be the same for the girls as it was for the boys, although the girls definitely gave the boys a run for their money in the placement course, so they are definitely up to the task.
Second last.
Okay. There's not that many girls in this age group, is
There's
there?
like 8.
8? Okay.
That's similar to the boys, I think.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. There were some big moments in the preteen male division, and in my opinion, if you look at the times on the preteen female, it's even more competitive. So I can't make heads or tail of this at all.
The tension is certainly palpable.
But it
Well, here we go. Yasma about to begin her run. Jaden ready to counter in, and it looks like we're going to have 15 extra seconds for the ladies. 4:45, far and away the longest time limit we've seen so far. And it just goes to show you the intensity of this course here today.
Very smooth footwork out of Yasma. Makes a good grab. She's pretty tall. I would say she's one of our taller athletes that we've seen today. Definitely able to reach for some objects, whereas some athletes would have had to jump.
Needing a backswing there, but able to reel back in the second plank. And she's through. And with that height, she should be able to make the skip here on Round the Bend and save some time.
Just making sure that she has enough height to really send herself around the bend. Now she's going to make that
Precisely
jump.
what she does. Makes the jump and onto airtime.
Gonna need a big high grab, covering a lot of ground with her nice J hook on the rope as well. She's gonna reach over for that green bar before progressing through the rings on airtime. And a great move so far. About a minute and a half about to pass as Yasma comes up to the 5th obstacle. Don't spin it to win it.
It's interesting. She took a conservative approach between obstacles. You don't often see that. Usually it's pretty straightforward, but with this weaving path that Life Force has created, the time between obstacles really can come into play.
She's going to hop on it just like a skateboard, cruising down the coaster, and takes big strides over to jousting.
Perhaps needs to take up surfing. I'm not sure that there's many surfers in the Pacific Northwest, but maybe there. It's close enough to the ocean.
Got to make some moves here on the cliffhangers. Time is ticking away. Not necessarily a lot, but we are coming up on 2.5 minutes gone very soon, and we are just about to hit that mark. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left, though, to get through these final 3 obstacles after this portion of jousting. Definitely
We've seen that
something
that's enough.
doable. Yasma definitely has time. My concern isn't so much her time to beat the course. It is how fast she'll do compared to her fellow competitors.
Yeah, 8 female competitors in this division. And with you having no idea running first how the other competitors are going to do, you really need to set a strong run. And if it's not going to be a fast run, it's got to be a far run.
Well, she's a little crooked here. Gonna have to hit the center of spun out.
That or get off of it really quickly.
Maybe grabbing that ring on the bear trap would be a good thing to do, and
There
she does
it is.
exactly that. Straightens out a little bit, but no, a little crooked.
Crooked
Oh,
again.
there it is.
Here we go. Coming back. There it is. Gonna ride it around. It's okay. Let it come back and go.
Uh-oh. Trying to
You
spot
know where it is.
where,
You gotta go.
Trying to spot where to jump.
Uh-oh. Now getting crooked.
It's speeding up on her. She tries to go for it, Alex, but it just goes a little too quick for her.
I almost wonder if that was a tactical reset. She did not look like she was having fun on that, and I don't blame her.
You know, it looks like one of those really fun things to play on when you're not in the middle of an intense competition.
Right. See, for the preteens, they're like, get me out of here as soon as possible. The kids and mature kids would be like, spin me on this twice as fast. I want to see how long I can stay on here. Do you ever have one of the playgrounds growing up where you had like the spinny thing and you had to like hold onto the bar and the other kids would spin you around as fast as possible to, you know, give you vertigo? And
of course, I love that. It's the reason I can handle so many big thrill rides and stuff. But Yasma gets out of spun out.
There you go.
You could see the smile as well as she got off the disc. Very relieved to have made it past that point. And while she doesn't exactly have a lot of time to get through boxed in, making it this far could very well be enough to make it to finals, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Almost hits her face on the box.
Yeah,
I
was
body awareness there.
About to say, she almost caught a face full of box. Thankfully, good awareness to avoid it. But, you know, of the 5 athletes that made it to that obstacle in the boys division, 4 qualified. So, you know, if only 4 make it to this obstacle, that will be good enough for Yasma.
And again, we see that recovery, the ability to just adjust in midair, going straight on to a diagonal dismount. It's a very underrated move. It's not easy to do whatsoever. And Yasma made it look very easy. We now jump into our second competitor. It's going to be Mackenzie Burwash.
Mackenzie, as we mentioned, experienced in both taekwondo and track and field, says her events are sprinting, the long jump, and the triple jump. So definitely has the leg strength, the agility, but the later parts of... Actually, I was going to say the later parts of this course are grip intensive, which for a lot of competitions would be the truth, but the crux point has been that metronome where you really need leg strength. And if you're going to have any kind of competitor that's going to show leg strength, somebody who's experienced in both the long jump and the triple jump might be that athlete.
You're completely right, Alex. But first, Mackenzie has to get there. And so far, it's not really proving to be difficult on plank run for Mackenzie. Coming quickly down to that black mat, your finished platform there. And not wasting a second before heading in around the bend. I like the push back, allowing her to gain more momentum. And a quick jump over, now facing airtime.
Getting some advice on how to approach this rope. Usually on rope swings, you either have to climb it or you have to swing across it. This is kind of both, and it's really going to be, you know, a different kind of movement for these athletes, having to climb the rope and keep the momentum to swing on it at the same time. And we've seen athletes all day really get caught up here.
Well, it looks like Mackenzie's going to be
Taking a
using
while to use that
ring.
ring.
We've only really seen this ring utilized once or twice today. And she's having a little bit of trouble gaining swing. You can see how long the straps are. The longer the straps, the more momentum you have to, the more power you have to give with your swing. It's a little tougher to generate that momentum.
And skipping the bar completely, going for that wooden ring.
Well, so far, very smooth. Not the fastest run we've seen, but she's keeping calm and collected. And it's that type of mindset that's needed to approach the next half of the course.
Well, if any obstacle is going to be similar to a triple jump, it's this one. I have to quickly make her
absolutely.
way across these spinning platforms now. In the triple jump, you just jump across a track and into a sand pit. You do not jump across things that spin, although if that were in the Olympics, I would pay a ticket every year. Every 4 years, I guess, but you catch my drift.
Of course. And now it looks like Mackenzie's going to take on the coaster, maybe trying to find the right foot placement.
Great balance. Great balance to save that.
A good little hop there. That's the type of hops you'll see on the triple jump as well. So a good miniature correction. And it looks like they're just waiting for jousting to be reset properly. Maybe it was slightly sticking out. But regardless, Mackenzie making jousting look like a child's plaything instead of, a major medieval event.
Yeah, jousting was definitely not child's play. I cannot say I would recommend it in good faith to anyone looking to give a sport a try. Maybe try ninja instead.
Oh, absolutely. Trying ninja would be so much more fun.
Yeah.
All right, Mackenzie's
for
coming to the end of that
facility
cliff
near you
line,
at
but her
Roland
fingers are
Taylor.
peeling on the right. She pushes through and is going to be facing spun out. Here
This
we go. Taking a
obstacle
bit of
has been absolutely brutal today. So many skills required here. Technical ability, balance, lâché ability, change of direction.
Oh, but she just peels off the ring after locking it into the bear trap. A bit surprising.
We're gonna get to see a look at how bear trap is reset, so that's cool.
Well, now with the ring back in hand, it's time for Mackenzie's second attempt on this
There
obstacle.
we go. The bad news for Mackenzie, though, is the back half of this obstacle is even more difficult than the front half of this obstacle, and she's only going to get one shot at it.
And there's the move on the ring. She's crooked, though. Gonna grab the ring again to try and straighten her swing out. Looks like she has the right angle. Maybe not perfect.
Oh, watch out!
As she's
Saves
spun out
it.
on spun out. But she's keeping her feet centered, keeping her eyes centered as well.
Oh, no!
Almost had it, but hey, great job by the coach reaching out to catch her.
And I mean, what wherewithal by Mackenzie trying to save that. Just getting, unfortunately, spun out on spun out. And now we can see why that obstacle is called why it is. But, I mean, that is just such a difficult obstacle. Went out on an upper body part of it, went out on a lower body part of it. And we are starting to see now why that obstacle has been one of the two major crux points on this course.
We're now going to be moving on to our third runner, who is also the fastest non-finisher from the placement course. It's going to be Kenzie Gorbay-Rayner.
Did a little bit of research on some of these athletes during the break, and Kenzie, yeah, I know we're going from a Mackenzie to a Kenzie. It's a bit confusing, but there's Kenzie. Kenzie has competed in 2 Canadian Ninja League competitions so far this season, where she's qualified for the finals. She's come in second and third in those 2 competitions.
Making sure it looks like the shoes need to be all fastened in, all tied up, and nothing coming off in the middle of a course run.
Yeah, we definitely want to make sure that everything is nice and secure. We don't want to be a Jamie Ron and lose a shoe.
Now grabbing onto that trapeze, using the box to push off, gaining a little more momentum, and away Kenzie goes through plank run. These first couple of obstacles, not necessarily challenging. I don't think they're meant to be, but they do matter in the sense that you want to get through them as fast as you possibly can.
And you also don't want to let them humble you. You don't want to waste a retry. Those are definitely invaluable resources. She makes her way over to airtime now.
Gonna make some big climbs up.
A little bit of trouble finding her footing, but she does now.
She's gonna reach up for that green bar and then move onward to those wooden rings before progressing through the rest of airtime.
Quickly through here, that's what we like to see. Not taking that full backswing on each ring. There we go.
And down she goes on a don't spin it to win it.
Yeah, I'm realizing how big of a drop that is now. That's like 6 or 7 feet.
Oh, yeah. Some of these athletes were really just throwing themselves off the side of that platform, and I was like, okay, just be a little careful. We saw Yasma take a bit more of a cautious approach on the way down, and I don't blame her whatsoever.
Right, that definitely makes a lot more sense now. These athletes in Ninja, some of them just love flying through the air, and we mentioned sometimes that ability to shut off the I'm not supposed to do this instinct in your brain. Some athletes maybe have become a little too good at it. Well, in any event, Kenzie making great work here as she makes her way to jousting. Unblemished so far. Now trying to get a bounce up. There we go. It's just looking for the sweet spot on that trampoline, I think.
She's going to hang on the side of that box before moving into the cliffhanger portion. But not proving to be a problem for Kenzie as 2.5 minutes have elapsed on her time. Still 2 minutes and 5 seconds to get through the course.
Definitely has the time to do it, but this is really the crucial part, is completing spun out, especially in a quick enough time. We didn't see 4 boys beat boxed in, so beating this quick enough likely will be good enough to advance to finals and perhaps just beating it at all.
Gonna make a move up to that black ring now. Now, a big problem we've been seeing from our athletes is trying to land centered on that disc. You can see she's killed all of her momentum to really make sure she's angled properly. A great way to generate swing. She was right there, actually. It was near perfect.
Yeah, opting to go back, I think maybe she saw it up close. We kind of have this far angle of it and realized she was off cricket. And we see there again a little bit off kilter. It's going to happen when you're going off of it. There we go. Hits the center, but not able to hang on to the ledge. And now a minute to go. Going to have to take her second attempt at this.
She has a minute left on the clock. More than enough time to get through this obstacle.
It is maybe not enough time to get through the next one, but like we said, very well that this could be good enough to qualify for finals.
Gonna reach right up. Great move. Steadying her swing once again. Going forward and back. Needs to be moving side to side. And another
Dia
great
gets the grab this time. Big smile. Would like to see great hip movement there. Has enough to get to the dismount here. She's there. And with 32 seconds left, she's going to be our second preteen girl on to boxed in.
This also means that she is currently going to be in first place with a faster time than Yasma to this point.
It's definitely a great start on the way to qualifying. But needs to get up there. 12 seconds. Actually might have enough time. She goes right now.
Oh, having a bit of maybe a stomach cramp there. And it looks like time's going to expire for her.
Yeah.
Still a very impressive run. Wasn't the cleanest in the world, but definitely showed her resilience and her ability to adjust in the middle of obstacles. Great job out of Kenzie.
A very solid run. Used up both of her retries and, I mean, made them pay off. Wait, where's the other retry? Oh, because she failed the with like 2 seconds left. Yeah, okay.
Right.
I was about to say, I only remember her taking one retry. Well, looks like we don't have the replay queued up because we are ready to go with our next athlete, but very strong run by Kenzie, currently in first place, and she's going to have to sit and wait for a little bit to see if that's good enough for the top 4, but the way things are looking, that very well may be.
We're going to jump right into it now with our first of 5 finishers on the placement course. It's Beatrice Buell.
Beatrice was our first runner of the placement course and was able to clear, although the other runners, having seen the beta both from her and from the boys who are running before the girls, and I just on a side tangent have to say that I really like seeing the boys run before the girls for a change, and I will not get into any particulars about why, but I do think that that's a fun change. I have to see that more from future competitions, but Beatrice still showed great wherewithal, just sneaking into the buzzer with just a couple of seconds to spare, if that. And she is going to, now that she's had the opportunity to see a couple of other runners before her on the placement course, be in a quite a decent position as she aims to represent Traverse Fitness here today and perhaps in the finals.
Traverse has had such a great showing throughout all divisions. One of our larger teams currently at Life Force right now, but Beatrice looking to be one of the more successful athletes. She's aiming for a spot in finals. Coming on to round the bend.
And San Francisco to Seattle, I would garner is more like a 6 to 8 hour drive. So, I mean, these athletes made the trip and have come out in full force at Life Force.
Making the move up the rope for airtime. Gets a good high grab, trying to lock the legs in. Let the legs do more of the work on the climb than the arms need to. It's really smart to lock in those legs and save your upper body strength for that back half of the course. Beatrice just taking a casual stroll through the rings. Gonna wind back real quick for an early dismount, skipping that last ring.
Yeah, keeping the heart rate down. No need to get aggressive now. You don't need to be here on the early half of this course because there's a lot of time to be made up on the back half, especially if you're able to get things in one shot.
Speaking of time, she's also moving very efficiently. This is quite a bit faster than her.
Oh!
But she missteps.
Yeah, that's the first in this division to use up a retry here on the coaster. We do not want to see her down on this obstacle. Gives it a second shot. This time rises to the end much better.
She's now going to...
Deep breaths, slowing down the heart rate again. Back to focusing on the obstacle in front of her. I definitely like that approach.
She's going to wrap around, reach for that cliffhanger. Still making great time.
Yeah, definitely one of the faster paces we've seen, especially on the girls' side.
Gonna pull around, and is coming into spun out.
Having only used up about 2 minutes at that.
However, it's worth noting that with 2 of the major killers up next, spun out and boxed in, Beatrice only has 1 retry remaining.
Yeah, and these are the 2 crux points of the course. Ideally, you want to get here with both of those retries, but if you do use one of them, that's okay. It just means that you've got to get through one of these 2 unblemished, which things are looking good for Beatrice to do just that here on Spun Out, and she's going to.
Beautiful transition from the disc to the board, and then the second board to the dismount. Incredibly smooth. Looked like she could have gone on that first swing, but really reeled it in, had a little more control, and still has a minute 45 to get through the remainder of the course. More than enough time for her to get to that buzzer.
Yeah, and the good news about Coaster is it's one of the faster obstacles on this course. It's really not that bad to use a retry there. Obviously, it prevents you from using a retry on a later obstacle, but it's one of the quicker retries, so it only burns up a couple of seconds. Able to get up onto the trapeze. Great work there. A minute 20. She has a phenomenal time that she's working up.
She's going to be jumping out for that grab. Probably best to at least go with the mixed grip, which she does. She holds on.
Good. Can she get up to this second trapeze here?
Yes,
she does!
Can. She locks it in. She has one obstacle remaining.
Beatrice firmly in first place. This is looking fantastic towards finishing in the top 4.
Now, here we go. Taking a deep breath. 40 seconds on the clock. 3 moves on this flying bar. She mixes the grip to make sure that bar doesn't spin out on her.
Well, they definitely like their bar tech and all their crazy tech obstacles at Traverse Fitness. And
Look
we're
at
seeing
that
why.
right
She's got
side.
jump number 1.
That right side was crooked, but there she lands it in the cradles. She's got to lock it in.
This could be our first finisher.
15 seconds.
This is
Come
going to be our
on,
first finisher.
Beatrice.
Beatrice Buell victorious on the course. Still remains to be seen whether she'll be at the top of the podium, but a huge run. 4.5 minutes it took her to get that buzzer, and boy, was it well earned.
Absolutely. I was a little worried after she had that fall on the coaster because so many crucial obstacles were following, and I was worried with only one retry that she was only going to have one extra piece of insurance there, but she didn't need it. She made it through everything else flawless and hit the buzzer with time to spare. With only 4 athletes to go, obviously no one is guaranteed a spot in the finals at the moment, but I have a feeling that Beatrice is in a very good position right now to advance. All she has to do is do better than one of these last 4 athletes.
You've got to think that would, in fact, put her in great position.
Our next runner is going to be Amelia Keating.
And
Local
we only
ninja
saw
out of
3
Life
clears
Force.
on the boys, and unless these girls really show up the boys, which they're certainly capable of, I mean, it would be hard-pressed to see 5 full clears of this course, which is what would be required to knock Beatrice out of the top 4. Amelia Keating, though, definitely wants to be part of that. I mean, that is, she would like to be fast enough to finish in the top 4, I suppose. Whether or not Beatrice is in that top 4,
Remains to be seen.
Yeah, thank you. I'm digging myself into a hole. Amelia making her way around the bend here.
And so far, not a problem. Getting a high run up the wall and jumping halfway. Coming into airtime now. You can see just how much ground she's covering with the longer arms. Getting a good stand with that J-hook as well. And she might be reaching for that ring already. Oh, no, she's going to lock in for a second. And go for the green bar instead.
Yeah, smart move there. Really aware of her surroundings, where she needs to go. Realizing because of that placement course clear just what she's going to have to do. Getting a little bit twisted, though.
But she might... Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Gonna reach out for that ring.
Yeah, she did
And
not want to
speed
waste
down.
time there.
Look at
You
that
can
jump.
see.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she wants to waste no time here going forward.
Well, about a minute 20 is passed on the clock for Amelia. Taking a very good approach on the coaster. Quickly through.
Amelia, we mentioned, made it to the end of stage 1 at the World Championship, finished in the top 20. Also was 13th in the Strongest Ninja, finished in the top 10 in the power skill. And that is really going to come in handy for some of these later obstacles.
You can see that quick pop through the cliffs. There's always that split second where essentially both of your hands are off the cliffhangers with that technique. But she's quick enough to catch it and move.
With a great time, has only just now used up 2 minutes.
coming onto spun out now. You could see that the ring even shifted on the bear trap. She really got it high up and had to drop down for a second. Oh, maybe just a little off center. Trying to reposition now. And there it is.
Yeah, we've seen this a
Great
couple
move.
times now, but able to get through.
And
Drops
another
down
great
to that
move
second
linking
cliff.
to the dismount.
Oh, this is such a great run, Kane. Unblemished to the second to last obstacle, giving Beatrice a run for her money.
Absolutely. It's not a guarantee for anybody right now that they're going to the Premier Series finals. Actually, Amelia's time to this point might have put her in that top 4. But
Yeah, this
I'm
should
not
be
sure.
second place right now, but
it should be second.
hitting that buzzer in a faster time than Beatrice, because she's one of the last 4 runners, would secure her a spot at Ferox.
Great move so far. Taking a big swing, might have kicked the box a little bit, and that might have slowed down her swing, but she still lands that trapeze, definitely in second place now, and just has 1 obstacle remaining. Trying to collect herself. Gonna take an extra backswing. Really, really exhaling, trying to make sure that she is nice and precise for this move, which she is. Has to get 1 more into those cradles.
Is a big pop here. Plenty of time, though, even if she has to use a retry, but it doesn't look like she's going to have to.
And she's going to lock that into place. Reach over for the cannonball and, oh, re-grab it. There we go.
Oh, man, that would have been unfortunate if she were able to, if she fell on that cannonball there. But nevertheless, just over 4 minutes for Amelia Keating. No retries needed. That's going to put her into first place and into the Premier Series finals.
An incredible move. Currently the fastest time as well. We just saw Beatrice get the buzzer in 4:31. And like we said, no one's guaranteed now. Amelia bests that time by 27 seconds. And now Amelia is the currently only athlete guaranteed a spot in the Premier Series finals. Congratulations are 100% in order. Such a powerful
They
run.
certainly are. Tremendous run by Amelia, with plenty of time to spare as well. Unblemished, which we especially like to see. And she has definitely laid down the gauntlet for our remaining 3 competitors.
Now, our 3 competitors were the 3 fastest on the placement course. But at
And we're
the
coming
same
up on
time,
Jaslyn Nelson
can
now.
happen.
Jaslyn, another athlete who went down on the final obstacle of stage 1, the throwback. The number 1 ranked athlete in the Northwest, representing the home gym here, Life Force Ninja. And looking to match her teammate Amelia's performance by hitting the buzzer.
Jaslyn's going to run right through. Try and possibly hook her leg around the wall. Yes. We can see that our preteen female athletes are on the taller side, so they're really able to use their longer limbs to their advantage. Another big high grab on that rope. Jaslyn, you can see, trying to lock her feet in. There's that J-hook that she was looking for. A very great and very convenient technique, as once you lock in your feet, you're able to kind of just stand yourself up and relieve some of the stress from your arms.
Yeah, I mean, she's been very smooth, as we see now. Just over a minute used up here, trying to shake everything out. 6 obstacles still to go, and they are some grueling ones.
We're coming up on
This first half has just largely been the amount of time you use, not necessarily about the retries, as athletes have been making pretty easy work.
Absolutely, and so far we're just passing the minute and a half mark as Jaslyn is on the 7th obstacle out of 10 jousting.
Now making her way across the cliffhanger. Jaslyn getting a little caught up there, but able to make it through.
Jaslyn's going to lock that ring into the bear trap on spun out. So far, hasn't had to use a retry. She's just got to turn herself around and reach for that black ring, which she does. Now wanting a good position coming into that disc.
Trying to line it up. And she does. Able to get to the dropping cliff ledge. Needs to get to the second one. She does, and through.
Flying through the course right now as well. It's been 2 minutes and 40 seconds, one of the faster times to this obstacle. I believe she's currently in the top 4. But you know she wants and needs more to cement her spot in finals.
Jaslyn, we mentioned, made it to the last obstacle, stage 1. Got to do stage 2 as part of the strongest ninja division. And made it to the last obstacle, stage 2 as well. So an incredibly strong ninja. Oh, what a save! Able to reach up to that trapeze. Great obstacle awareness by Jaslyn. And the way things are going, this could put her into first place if she's able to get through this obstacle quickly enough. Very technical moves here. She's top 15 in the tech skill at Worlds. Hopefully has this on lock to get the 3rd buzzer in a row. There's the first jump.
Now we saw Jaslyn take less rest time than the athletes before her on this obstacle. Think that says a lot about her confidence coming into the obstacle. And
but she's not able to get the right side into the cradle. Gonna have to restart. That probably puts first place out of reach, but still loads of time to be able to complete this obstacle in with the course.
Yeah, Amelia Keating's time of 4:04 is a little under 20 seconds away from this. I don't see 20 seconds being impossible here, but it's definitely push and pace. Regardless, a minute to get to the buzzer, very doable with one obstacle left.
Well, she took an extra moment to chalk up and shake out there. Certainly don't blame her. 43 seconds now. First place out of reach, second place, and the Premier Series final still very much within the reach. But here is the scene of the crime. Can she get this on her second attempt?
Gonna wind up again, going for the release. She sticks it, but the right side is still very, very much on the edge.
Oh, geez, this is gonna be close.
Crazy.
Needs to be careful here. She reaches out for the cannonball. And she's gonna do it. Jaslyn Nelson, our 3rd clear in a row.
Not only that, but this run does lock her into the finals as she is just 5 seconds ahead of Beatrice Buell.
Yeah, and if you're Beatrice, you're probably starting to sweat. You thought maybe that'd be good enough, but then the first 2 runners after you clear in even faster times, and all of a sudden, hitting the buzzer might not even be good enough.
Look at that save again. Was going to fall backward and reached for that trapeze just at the last possible second. And again, maybe favoring the left side a little bit on that flying bar, but it was more than enough to lock in those cradles and get to the buzzer. Congratulations to Jaslyn Nelson, currently sitting in second place.
Yeah, a Life Force 1-2 right now with 2 runners to go. The home team has to be very proud of their performance here today. We'll continue to keep Beatrice on the hot seat as we move to our second to last runner, Lily Brown-John. Mention 3 Brown-Johns competing here this weekend. We'll see her mom, Sharon, and her sister, Nora, tomorrow. But Lily, an incredible athlete in her own right.
And there she is at the starting line. knows that in order to get in the top 4, you're most definitely going to need a buzzer. The time to beat to guarantee a spot in finals is 4 minutes and 31 seconds. I think it's also worth noting that 2 of our 3 clears have been within the preteen male time limit as well, and Beatrice's time is only 1 second behind the male time limit. So I almost don't even think the 4:45 was needed.
Well, they probably determined that ahead of time, and then the boys torched the course, and we're like, well, we said we were going to do it. We might as well at this point. Lily Brown, just like our previous athlete, made it to the end of stage 1, got to do stage 2 in the strongest ninja division, made it to the end of stage 2 as well, went out on X Factor.
Gonna take a big grab. We're seeing a lot of athletes go not so much for the distance on the swing. They don't want to be swinging out too much, but we're seeing them go for height on the rope. Lily going a bit more for lock-offs, but it works as the momentum carried her over to those rings faster than anyone we've seen in this division. And a good hop down. On to obstacle 5, just passing the minute mark now.
Yeah, Lily definitely leading the way for her family members tomorrow. And definitely making the Vancouver crew crowd. Close call there, but able to get through.
Now facing jousting, where she's going to have to make that trampoline jump and then shuffle through those cliffhangers as quickly as possible.
And she's just now at the 1.5-minute mark. Hasn't even used up a third of her time limit yet, as she is on the back half of this course.
And there we go. Onto those cliffhangers. Not feeling the need to lock off, just keeping those arms loose and just reaching where she needs to. Very
So
smooth as we come into spun out now.
Well, 2:40 to go. The first major crux point on this course. As Lily lines up this bear trap, you do not want to overlook this part of the obstacle. It's not the most difficult, but it can humble you, and we've seen that already today.
It's worth noting that currently in 4th place is Kenzie Gobai Rayner. Made it through spun out with a time of 4 minutes 12 seconds. Lily definitely ahead of that pace right now, so even just beating this obstacle will put her in that top 4. But we know that in order to secure a spot in finals, she's going to have to do more.
Yeah, likely going to have to hit a buzzer. She does have an incredibly strong athlete in Savannah Salinas behind her. Lily building up that swing. Wanting to not waste any time here on boxed in. You definitely can lose a lot of time here if you don't go for the trapeze quickly, but she does.
Oh, little shaken up there on the box, but she repositions herself. 1.5 minutes remaining on the clock. Plenty of time for her to tear through these last 2 obstacles. Just has to make the grab.
They're looking really unsure, though. I'd like to see a little bit more confidence in her, but that's something you build up over time, is that sense of confidence. She really needs to get going, though. Oh, she's starting to psych herself out now, I think. The longer she stands up here, the harder it's going to be to convince herself to go for this.
You know what?
But the clock
I don't
is ticking,
entirely
Lily.
blame her. This move can be a little tricky given that there's only a tiny slot for your hands and a big drop that follows you. But she's
my
going
gosh,
for it.
This
getting some encouragement
hurts to
from her
watch.
coach.
This
She's
is
pushing through
tough.
it. She's smiling at it.
Come on, Lily.
She's
Come
getting
on,
ready to
Lily.
go.
You can do it. Oh, no. She's backing
30
out.
seconds. And this could very well be the difference between finals and not. You can see her coach telling her to try and send it at least once with 15 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and he's down there to catch her if she's not able to commit to it. The lights flashing red. You have no choice now. Goes for it. And
she
you were
sticks
good
it.
all along.
Oh, and
now
she's not going to get the
have time.
dismount.
Oh no.
If she got the dismount in time, that would have bettered her odds, obviously, marked as getting to the final obstacle.
Oh, Lily. I feel so bad.
It's a tough way to potentially go out, but she's not down just yet. That will put her in 4th place. This does mean congratulations, Beatrice Buell. She can stop sweating. She will be going to the Premier Series finals.
Yeah,
All
I'm
eyes now.
sure we would have if we were going to see Beatrice move on, we would have liked to see it in a better situation than that, but Beatrice is going to very much earn that position in finals, having hit the buzzer with a very strong run. And now we move on to our final athlete, Savannah Salinas, out of Rhino Ninja Gym in Las Vegas.
All eyes on Savannah as Lily Brown John currently sitting on the hot seat. 2 minutes and 43 seconds to the 9th obstacle boxed in. That is Savannah's time to beat.
Savannah, we have failed to mention, finished 3rd in the Strongest Ninja competition at the World Championship. Top 5 in both stages 1 and 2.
Oh,
5th place
Wait
in
a minute.
the...
There's a retry burned. That's a retry.
Oh no, she overran the platform. Oh, hold on, everybody.
And now things get interesting. We saw a similar scenario in the mature kids female division, and now Savannah Salinas loses
Actually,
just
you
a
might
little
wanna
bit of
just
insurance.
Go for the safe strategy on this now. Okay, she's got it. All right, a little bit of a sigh of relief now as I go back to mentioning she was 5th in the dash skill, 3rd in the power, and 1st in the grip, taking home a gold medal. Ended up finishing in 3rd place, edging out Zuri Harrison, who will be competing in finals, by just 1 point. And the 2 ladies ahead of her, KK Andrews and Lily Barrett, have won Premier Series competitions already. Deftly through that obstacle, though, halfway done.
Hops
She is
right onto the coaster.
She has
Still
used a
making great
retry
time.
earlier than any other athlete in the preteen division. But an incredible caliber of athlete, able to get that second chance with the challenge course. And oftentimes in these challenge courses, because of those retries, we see a little bit less variance and the stronger athletes rise to the top more consistently.
A minute 45 through the first 7 obstacles, now into spun out. And again, spun out, boxed in, 2 very tricky technical obstacles. If you spend too much time on this obstacle and you fall, and you have to use your second of 2 retries, it puts a bunch more pressure on Savannah. But this is one of the best in the world.
Yes, it is. And she's been pretty conservative, I must say, so far. She earned the right to go last, and at this point realizes that a buzzer is all she needs to get top 4. Although not wasting any time here on spun out, and that's exactly what we like to see, getting quickly out of that spinning element so that it doesn't start to spin on you.
And I can now confirm that with that time to boxed in, Savannah is in 4th place right now. She will be going to the Premier Series finals, bumping out Lily Brown John. Congratulations to Savannah. Heartbreaking for Lily. But now let's see if Savannah can give us our 4th buzzer in the preteen female division.
It really is heartbreaking for Lily, but Savannah has very much earned that spot based on her performance today. Just needs to get out of here if she wants to finish on the podium with a fast time. And I think she might have caught a face full of box there.
She might have.
Yeah, the little padding there came undone. So thankfully, at least if nothing else, we have some padding there available for her.
She seems to be a little okay. Maybe a little frazzled, but not letting it get to her too much. Just shaking out a bit.
Yeah, I'd rather be frazzled than injured, that's for sure.
Absolutely. You can see her really trying to generate momentum on this metronome.
She did beat the metronomes at Worlds, but this considerably harder.
Absolutely. Such a high grab. You need so much more power. And looks like she's going to go for it on this next one.
There
Gets it
you
this time
go.
around.
And able to
one
swing to the
extra
platform. And she's
minute
quickly
remaining.
through there. Front grabs it, actually. We've been seeing
Yeah.
most athletes there go for the mixed grip.
Not a very common approach, but it works for her as she's about to land on the final obstacle with 50 seconds remaining.
But no retries. Remember, she used that retry early by overrunning the platform of the third obstacle.
We're going to have to see if she can lock in these next two moves as she hops the bar from cradle to cradle. First one's
the
good.
first, just barely catching
Little
that
on
right
the edge
side.
there.
Gets the second part. She's going to get our fourth buzzer.
And a big grab over, pulls herself up, and Savannah Salinas with a time of 4 minutes 27 seconds puts her in third place, a little under a second behind Jaslyn Nelson.
What a strong performance out of these ladies. 4 buzzers. Oh, wait a minute. I think I have missed that Savannah Salinas, and I don't know how I missed this in researching these competitors, had already qualified for Premier Series at Austin Ninjas, which means Lily Brown John claims the 4th qualifying spot. You can't take 2 qualifying spots. So a little bit of a Deus Ex Machina for Lily Brown John, who manages to squeeze into the finals.
So that means our 4 athletes who have qualified from today's qualifier at Life Force, Amelia Keating, Jaslyn Nelson, Beatrice Buell, and Lily Brown John, joining Savannah Salinas, who's already qualified. All 5 of those athletes will be advancing to the Premier Series finals in Brooklyn.
What a tremendously fun competition we had here. This challenge course, I mean, it was really tough. Don't let the clear rate fool you. This was a tough course, but these athletes took it to task. Tremendous work, showing why this is the Premier Series, why these athletes had to qualify by being one of the best of this sport just to be here today. Definitely earning their spot, and those who claimed those spots in Brooklyn definitely earned those as well.
And taking a look at the preteen male division as well, congratulations once again to our top 4, Bodie Snow, Tyson Knutson, Isaiah Meningo, and our winner in the preteen male division, Michael Matthews.
Well, this has been an incredibly fun day from start to finish, but lots more fun to be had. First of all, in our 2 international competitions, after a bit of schedule shuffling, we are going to have Israel and UK pick up the anchor leg of this season. We're going to go to Israel on October 13th and 14th, just as a scheduling note to everybody. That is on a Friday and a Saturday. And that'll be real early in the morning here in the States. And then we go to the UK a week later. Kane, tell us the crazy athletes that we're going to see at some of these competitions.
Oh, man. I mean, again, we don't have a confirmed list here. I don't want to make the
Right,
athletes
no.
feel like they're pressured into joining. But in
Not
Israel,
any names, but just the caliber of the fields of athletes in these countries.
Israel and Europe as a whole, because we've extended our UK invites to Israel, their ninja scene is a lot. It's not a lot different, but their style is much more grip intensive. Israel loves to put emphasis on grip intensive obstacles and huge dynamic moves, especially with directional changes on laches as well. So you can expect a lot of power based obstacles in Israel, and a lot of athletes who train specifically power. You're going to see some people with like massive arms. And I don't typically comment on the bodies of ninja athletes, but these people look like they're training dinos, like 5-foot dino poles on cliffhangers only all the time. They are insanely strong. They're also incredibly fast. And the course designers, Gil Morantz goes all out with his courses. You're going to see some very solid obstacles in the widest variety. Crazy balance obstacles, huge moves, and the same for Europe. Although Europe is starting to adopt more obstacles that you're seeing in the United States. They have so many talented athletes in the United Kingdom, Germany, Switzerland, France, Italy, and hopefully we have a clash of nations over in the UK.
That is going to be so much fun. But first, we have a full slate of action tomorrow, starting at 8:30 on the West Coast, 11:30 on the East Coast with the amateur division. We're going to see some. Actually, I saw quite a few of the top Masters competitors, and we've seen that division usually be dominated by young adults. This could be the exception to the rule because we have a lot of strong Masters in those divisions showing up for the 40 plus crowd. Can't wait to see them. And I always say the Masters division is my favorite division. Those athletes have so much fun on the course. And then we have the teen division. Obviously, they're incredibly strong. And a loaded elite field that's going to main event our competition. 4 p.m. on the West Coast, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And just to introduce you to some of the athletes that we're going to be seeing in that elite division, starting with Kai Diol.
Taking a look at Kai Diol here.
Ahead.
Kai is a Canadian ninja who crosses over to Life Force in Washington multiple times a week to train for Ninja. Made it to stage 2 at the World Championship this past season. Landed in that top 25. Definitely a huge force to be reckoned with. And he's got so many different skills in his arsenal. You can see the crazy bar tech, the massive lache power that this kid has, and incredible footwork that he demonstrated at the World Championship as well. But he'll be going up against Evan LaValle. Why don't you tell us about Evan?
Oh man, Evan is such a strong athlete. Sometimes Sophie gets all the attention in the LaValle family, but Evan is such an incredible athlete. He made it all the way to stage 3 a year ago. He is one of the forces to be reckoned with in New England, trains out of Vitality up in the Boston area, and this is not going to be a run to be missed, as you can see from his incredible grip strength and incredible technical abilities that he's been displaying in that highlight reel package. And a tale of the tape, these athletes are so incredibly strong. We see very high scores in the climbing, campusing, and generating swing elements. Those are the 5 categories of obstacles that we track athletes in. And it's going to be so fun watching these two athletes go up against the best of the best, both from America and Canada, tomorrow night.
That's right. Be sure to tune in one more time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific for the amateur division, 4:15 p.m. Eastern, 1:15 p.m. Pacific for the teens, and 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific to see Kai, Evan, and the rest of the elite field battle it out.
Well, Kane, thank you so much for taking this shift over for Mary. Mary couldn't make it here this week, but I definitely always enjoy commentating with you, so thanks for hopping in.
Of course, Alex. Pleasure's all mine. And I will see you and the rest of our lovely audience back here tomorrow for the amateur division.
For Kane Casillas, and extra thanks, by the way, to Travis Rosen for hopping in. He did tremendous. Looking forward to hearing him at future competitions. I'm Alex Cunningham, wishing you good night from Seattle.